Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we are doing something a little bit different. I mentioned in a previous video that I've been really enjoying this limited format, so today we're going to go through a draft. Now, I've been trying to expand my range. Initially when I started drafting this format, I only had eyes for Quandrix. I thought that every other college was garbage, every other color combination I couldn't win with. I think that was partly me, not knowing how to evaluate cards in the other colors well. And as time goes on, I've tried hard to expand my range and I've had some successful drafts in the other colors. That being said, this card is a bomb. It just creates a 4/4 or 5/5 usually for 4 mana, and is absolutely a reason to go into Quandrix. From this pack too, there might be some good wheels, potentially the Drake, the Fractal Summoning, the Aether Helix, even the Snarl, all perfectly reasonable cards to wheel. So among this pack, Go Blank seems like a reasonable card, but it would force me to go into green-black potentially, and at that point this becomes a quad green card. Not really something I'm looking for, and environmental science also jumps out to me as something really good. Quandrix usually wants to make it to the late game, hit their land drops, have a bunch of ramp, and this also facilitates a small splash if you find any good black or red cards. Obviously, I'm not married to blue-green yet. I think a big part of this format is remaining open when you can. Because I think that if you draft your open slot for your seat, it usually ends up better than forcing a color that you might think is more powerful. So among this pack, Summoning is reasonable, Drake is reasonable. I like Denial a little bit better. I just think this is a slightly more powerful card than Needle Thorn Drake. That might not be true, but it's always worked pretty well for me. And also, look at the art. Come on, man. You can't deny that the art looks sweet. So I'm going to pick this one up. So some things in the pack. Elemental Summoning, very good summoning card. You usually want at least one lesson that is a creature, because it lets you draft a much more spell dense deck. Bury-in Books, though, is one of the best blue commons, if not the best blue common. It's just efficient removal, and the fact that it puts if it gets rid of, usually it kills giant tokens permanently, or if there's a medium-sized creature, it forces your opponent to draw it 2 turns later, and usually by that point in the game, it's kind of outsized by things that you were doing in your Quandrix deck. So we're going to pick up Bury. Obviously not too much for us here. Annihilation is a perfectly reasonable lesson. I think that's what we're going to take. The Stadium's interesting. I have not been able to make this card work other than just being a kind of bad mana rock, and my understanding is that other people haven't been able to make it work either. So we're getting all these good lessons. This card is very solid, just turns your guy into the biggest guy, lets you attack and block in a turn cycle because of vigilance, and then usually at that point you win the race. So I will start prioritizing the learned cards a little bit higher. We have a lot of spells, so Curve is a really good pickup here. Vortex Window is also just perfectly reasonable card, but I personally like Curve a little bit better. So there's a few things here. This is kind of a late Woe Eater. It means there's probably no green-black drafter at the table, or they were earlier on and picked a less committing type card. Curate is pretty good with the Serpentine Curve because it's nice to mill spells sometimes, and it's a cheap spell itself. But because I have these lessons, I think Cram Session is going to be the pick here. This was our opening pack. The Aether Helix Wield, really a solid card. Handles big tokens, and then can even get back this creature later in the game, which is good. So this is an obvious pickup. I'll pick up the Tangle Trap. This is like bad ramp. It's usually a card I don't like playing unless I'm splashing a color, but totally fine to pick it up here. I think Tangle Trap is main deckable in this format, especially because like usually if you're building like a late game Condrix deck, some of the things you'll lose to are like the white based aggressive decks, and they usually have flying creatures like Combat Professor and things of this nature. And then there's also just like random artifacts running around as well. So I usually like to, in best of 3, I like to main deck this if I can, and then if I don't see good targets, I'll cut it in sideboard games. So pretty solid Quandrix deck after the first pack. We've got some solid lessons. We've got some, good late game incurve in this. We have some removal interaction. Very solid. So we've opened a Quandrix rare. Unfortunately, it's not a particularly good rare. So I'm not really looking at it that much right now. Urza's Rage is a very powerful card. Or it's not that powerful, but it is removal. And I think with the Invisai and the Acceptance, we could consider splashing. The thing is, Skewered Colony is just a perfectly reasonable card. So is Elemental Summoning. I did say I wanted to get one summoning card. Or one creature summoning. I think I'm going to pick this up. Colony is good, but I think it's more replaceable with other generic 2-drops. Wow, this is a very good pack. We have Bury, we have Mage Duel, Eureka Moment. Invisai 2 is definitely a lot less useful than Invisai 1, and then there's also an Eliminate here, because again, black is another potential splash. I think Bury is a little better than Mage Duel in a vacuum, just because you don't always have a big enough creature, and even especially with this deck, we don't have any creatures at this point really. We have these 2 medium-sized ones. If there wasn't blue and/or green removal in this pack, I would consider taking the black, but because these cards are about the same power level, I'm just going to take the one that keeps me in 2 colors. Not too much here for us. I think I'm going to take Golden Ratio, but my experience is that this card is not particularly strong. It usually just feels like, even 3 mana for a draw 2 it's fine, but you don't really need that sort of effect too much in your deck. And obviously, if you're ever behind on the board, you can't really afford to draw cards like that. I will reserve it, but I'm not expecting to play it, especially with the current thing of we have 2 creatures right now. Maze Duel's removal. Removal's good. Again, this is another card that I'd be looking at if I wanted to splash, but because there is just a solid on-color pickup, it dashes those thoughts. So now we actually have a choice, because Culling Ritual can be good against certain matchups, most notably green-black. And black has seemed to be pretty open, at least in this pack. The other choice would be this, which is just like a very mediocre card. All right, I'm actually going to take this, and we'll see kind of where it goes. This is kind of a late lash. Pest Summoning also is reasonable, but we have so many lessons and only one learn card right now. One thing I've noticed as this format has matured is that people take the learn cards very, very highly, and they should, because they're good. Making choices is a good way to exploit your skill as a Magic player. But what it means from a drafting perspective is that you can't expect to wheel or pick up late learn cards as easily. So it's like it has this kind of like compounding effect where you need to take the learn cards quicker because other people are, but then other people need to take them quicker because you're taking them quicker, and it kind of spirals out of control. So as time, this is a long-winded way of saying as time goes on, I've gotten a lot less kind of learn cards in my draft decks, much to my dismay. Yeah, I think it's just Duress here. I believe this was our opening pack, and it's nice that the colony did wheel. Very solid pickup, just good early, good late. And I guess it's this. Disappointment's also reasonable. We'll take the disappointment. We're kind of more on the controlling side with our double bury. These are all solid. I'm thinking I don't have quite enough creatures where I really want this card. I think I'd rather just take an early... No, this card has impressed me, actually. So definitely solidly 3 colors at this point. It's kind of just where the draft took us. I'm going to be drafting learn cards very highly right now. So I think that this pop quiz is actually the pick. Like, it's definitely on the lower end of power level for learn cards, but I have all these lessons. I definitely want more ways to find my environmental sciences now that I'm, certainly 3 colors, and so beggars can't be choosers on that one. Wow, there's a lot of really good cards here. There's another pop quiz. There's another bury. But Zimone, I think, is one of those mythic uncommons where it just runs away with the game. It lets you accelerate a little bit early, draws cards. It's everything you want in Quandrix, and it's the type of card that I can't imagine really wheeling. So I'm going to pick it up. It sucks to pass another bury. Bury's great. You can never have too many, but this card's too good, I think. I think Cram Session, while we're waiting for the next pack, is one of the best learn cards in your like bug control draft archetype, just because of the hybrid color, and then it gets your Visai. Quandric Apprentice is similarly busted. Both these cards are kind of like the mythic uncommons for Quandrix, so very easy pickup here. You've seen me play this card on Legacy, so it's very obvious that I'm very fond of it. And there wasn't even much else in the pack that was enticing. Denial's fine. There's Bury, there's Arcane Subtraction, and there's Umbral Juke. All these are good. I think black is still my splash color as of right now. So I'm just going to take another Bury. The Arcane Denial is very good, and it's a learn card. But, I still think this is a little bit better, personally. I'm not sure if I'll play this. I think I don't have quite enough creatures with ETB effects that I would want to keep this one. Yeah, we'll pick up another Pop Quiz. Very solid card. It's nice that we have, some board presence lessons to pair with it. I think I have enough card advantage cards where I would rather just take a campus and get some color fixing. We have enough cards in our draft to make a full deck. So the difference between picking this, the difference between picking certain cards for our deck gets less valuable, whereas picking up dual lands and stuff of that nature grows in comparison. So because I think we have a full deck, I am just going to pick up this off-color lesson. We have this letter, so it's kind of free to include off. A late field trip here is exactly what we're looking for. It's a learn card, and it ramps us. Field trip into elemental summoning. It's just a very solid curve. I think I'm not likely to play any of these cards. I will just keep this as a sideboard card to potentially stop some bombs my opponent might play. This is a very clear campus. This goes on the side for removal, or aggressive decks, I should say, where I would want more life gain. Yeah, I'm not going to play this. Oh, I should have taken Adventurous Impulse there. That was actually a solid mistake, just because I'm 3 colors, and that can sometimes, has a percentage chance to fix your draw. So that was a little foolish. Okay, so let's see the lessons going to the sideboard. I'm considering... Yeah, this card's not good enough. So we need one more cut. It might just be this. I might just have enough card advantage. I'm not aggressive at all, so the 2 life loss isn't, particularly useful. Pop Quiz is basically, it's very similar to a draw 2. And then obviously we have Apprentice and Simone. Yeah, I'm just going to cut this. And then... So we have 4 black cards. Maybe 3 swamps is reasonable. That seems like a fine amount. Yeah. Magic Online agrees, which I'm fine with. Okay, so yeah, I think this is good. The only thing I'm thinking about now is if I would only want 2 swamps instead of 3. But I think it's fine because this can also, like, you know, this is color fixing and this is color fixing that can be cast off swamp, so I think we're good there. All right, that's the draft. I'll see you for round 1. All right, welcome to round 1. We are on the draw. We have a very solid curve of colony into field trip, into probably this. So I will keep. So the nice thing about Limited is that you can F6. It's not something I'm used to as a blue player. Interesting. It's usually not something you do by choice. Completely fine with that. All right, so here I'm going to cast Field Trip. I think that's better than holding up Pop Quiz. You know, ramp first, play to the board first, and then I'm actually going to take the summonings for now. Is that true? Because I can't even cast it as it stands. No, I'll just take the environmental sciences. If I had a second blue source, I think I would take the summonings and, you know, just use Pop Quiz to find Invisai later if I don't draw black mana. But because I can't, you know, cast the summoning, I would probably need to grab Invisai later on. So I'm not, you know, gonna fret. All right, so we're gonna cast Sage. See if it resolves. If they use a 3-mana counterspell on it, I'll feel better about it, since at least they used their treasure token. If this gets rejected, I will feel rejected. And obviously, you know, doing this before playing the land so that we make the fractal a tiny bit bigger. Okay. Hey, not bad at all. Do I want to cast this in? Obviously, they should have done this in end step. I'm just gonna cast the environmental sciences. I don't feel like this is worth killing right now. I'd, you know, be fine with trading it. I will get another island and pass the turn. So obviously that was a very solid sequence for me. They wasted a card, and I got a land. I will make this trade, even if they make the 3-2. Like, who cares? Yeah, I'll just get the summoning. Now I could denial to counter this 3-2, but I think it's just better to lash it, and then I'll have denial up for the next play. I think that's just a more efficient use of resources. I could also consider just not killing that because I'm about to play a 4-4, but And then if they don't do anything, I could do pop quiz. I'll grab this just because I think it's a little more useful, basically. All right, well, let's see what they're working with. Felt like a reasonable draw. I feel like they must have something big in hand for them to discard this on turn 2. Maybe like some double red spell. That's my guess. All right, well, I'm going to take the Test of Talents because they can cast that. And that's what they were deciding, was whether or not to cast the Test of Talents. I'm just going to play out this.
I'm reminding you. Talk Chinesey. I'm reminding you. Talk Chinesey.
So if they draw the white mana and can kill this, like, that's fine. And if they want to play out the Pilgrim, that's also fine. Definitely not worth using an Annihilation on. We'll probably just take the 2 in the air. This gives them the white mana. I think I'm actually going to counter this so that they can't use the Campus in their hand. The question is, do I want to bury this? I think the answer is no. Just because if they play the 1/5 next turn, I want to be able to get rid of that, basically. So I can keep attacking. So of the lands we could draw, Campus is definitely one of the better ones. Just because it lets us start scrying. Right, so Campus is the last card. I wonder if they use it right away. They don't, so I'm going to... Because I know the last card in hand, it's just better to do this now than to give them the option to sacrifice this on their turn. Because if they get back something like this, it's bad for us. And I'm definitely scrying an upkeep. I have so much mana and nothing to do right now. So I believe I've used all my 1 mana spells. So it doesn't matter, you know, what land I... I was just about to say, you know, I want to do this now because if I draw the Campus, it's better to play it now. Now, unfortunately, this card doesn't have haste, so I can't immediately draw cards, but, you know, I'm not too worried. So they're going to have the 1/5, and then that was their one unknown. So if they attack for 2, I do have lethal. That's not true because they could draw something off the draw. Oh, this was bad. I obviously should have played my land so I could scry. Let's start out by drawing cards. I am going to get rid of this just because they could get back the master piece next turn. And also it forces them to jump block if they don't draw anything. What would I want first? Probably the bury. So now I know my bottom 5 cards. It's 2 lands and then the 3 spells that Apprentice just put on the bottom. Okay, cool. So they didn't have anything. So blue red, blue red. I don't think I have too much to change from my sideboard. I didn't really see much, you know. The deck didn't do that much. Yeah, I think this is how I want the deck to be. Maybe Culling Ritual is not good versus... they did show us the Elemental Summoning that makes the 2/4/4s. I am actually going to keep this in for that, just because I don't have that many creatures in my deck, and I wouldn't want to waste like 2 buries on that sort of thing. Obviously, that'd be very bad. So yeah, let's just run it back. Hand seems perfectly reasonable. Denial and Pop Quiz play really well together because, you know, if you don't have anything to play, or if they don't give you anything to counter, you can just draw a card. Sure. Could be annoying depending on I think it's just environmental sciences so that I get my black mana should I need it. I think I just let that resolve and Tangle Trap it this turn. I was thinking like maybe I pop Quiz this turn and then next turn play both my 2-mana spells. But I don't think I want to take down Whirlwind Denial next turn. I could just do that. No, I think I'm going to wait. I think, because they're going to go up to 4 cards in hand, so I think I will always have a chance to Remorse next turn. And I think that spending my whole turn to Remorse this turn and then falling behind on board is bad. So I don't want to do that. Yeah, so this turn I plan to Invitasai for a Swamp and then Remorse my opponent, just because they're getting to the point where they could run out of cards potentially next turn if they go like land plus 2 more spells. It's enticing, but you know me, I love card advantage, but I think this is a little bit better. Like, we'll be able to play it next turn and be just fine. Like next turn we can play it, we can leave up Pop Quiz or Bury. Things will be good. This Pledge Mage has been really bad. This card seems like, I feel like it's better in blue-green than it is in blue-red. It's because blue-green I feel like is more defensive than blue-red. Could just be me. I think that's fine. Oh, I should have left up the black in case I draw a Lash. Ah, there it was. Well, there's Calling Ritual. I don't know how eager I am to sacrifice my Pledge Mage. Do I have anything for this? No, right? Not yet. I'm just going to do this. And then look to bury the Wanderer. I suppose I'll respond to the trigger, so if they have like a spell they want to cast. It costs more mana. Yeah, probably the Bury is the best one to draw first. Not that it matters too much. I really want to save the Calling Ritual for that Elemental Mastery they have. But then the question is, do I play this in the meantime? I think, obviously, if they had Mastery, they would have played it, so... So I'm just going to be aggressive. And I should have made my decision before playing the land, because if I had found a campus off of this, I would have wanted to play that as my land for a turn. Yeah. That's fine by me. Actually gives me a target for Aether Helix, which is pretty nice. So if one unknown, they're drawing the 2/4 flyer next turn. I will take this because it's better, but I'm not going to play it this turn. I think I'm just going to play the curve, right? Because this is a 1, 2, 3. Like this is a 10-10. And at this point, I think I'm fine trading these off just because I'm about to play a 10-10. So I will attack for 6. Yep. Interesting. Surprising to me, but okay. I have a feeling this duress is going to miss, but this also feels like the last turn of the game, so I can't take it with me. Yep. Makes perfect sense. First round, first win. I will see you back for round 2. All right, we are back for round 2. We're playing Bug Control and Limited. We won the die roll. It sucks that we don't have 2 or 3 colors of mana, but we only have 3 more islands left in the deck, so any other green or black source will let us get this, which will let us get Invisai. So I'm going to keep. We also have a reasonable curve. Okay. So I think the question is, do we play out the Vortex Runner or do we leave up Whirlwind Denial? I think the answer is Denial. I just feel like there's a lot of bigger creatures my opponent could play. Yeah. It sucks that this is a recursive one. Actually pretty annoying, but like it felt like playing the Vortex Runner just to stop a potential attack was not good. And if I let them play like a 3 or 4 drop, that's also not good. Perfect. Right into the ritual. So this is actually a very good turn for us. So we get the ritual into Vortex Runner. Well, now we don't. What? Oh, non-land. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, for some reason I thought it was just creatures, but it's not land permanents. This is okay, though, I think. Like, we're probably behind at this point. In fact, we're very behind at this point. Just because they can start growing their guy. I'm actually just gonna do this. Wow. That's frustrating. Well, I guess I take the... Wow. There's actually no good answers here. Yeah. Alright, we just lose this one. Yeah, I think we just take the anatomy. It's just annoying that they just have Snake's Conveil to trade with this. I mean, I think I still need to do this so that I can curve plus 10 the pests. Yeah, and if they're doubling that, that's kind of good for me, actually. So this is fine. And then I definitely fight the thing that grows bigger. Right, so now they have 10 to unknowns. That's fine. I'm gonna destroy this artifact because if they want to tend to get one more point of power, they have to do it now. I'm going to start by attacking, see what happens. I think I want the elemental summoning just to help race, and then Like, I think that's better than the 2+2 in Vigilance, just given that they are going to have some number of chump blockers. So 5, okay. So I think I just do this. So if I do this, they pump. And then I tend, or, bury, and then they tend. I could alternatively block here. And I go to tend this, and I can... Yeah, let's do that, actually. I think that's better. And yeah, I bury this now. So that they get fewer pests. Hopefully 2 is the number they get. That's what we're going for here. Yeah, that's fine. Because then I still eat this, which is like... Or I guess hopefully I eat that. And then they have to double jump. They still have to double jump. Yeah. All right. I'll hold this land. Okay. Nice, nice. I think we ran a little well there to draw the Mage Duel. And Pop Quiz was, pretty solid too. Okay, so green-black with a small white splash, and they look to be more aggressive, potentially. Which means, like, I didn't see much removal from them, which means maybe this card is reasonable. Maybe this card's reasonable. Certainly thoughts. Like, yeah, I think Servine is better than Vortex Runner here. Calling Ritual is still going to be good. What else? What else? Infusion might still must not be good enough. So I'm going to stop. And also I learned non-land permanent, not creatures, not creatures. That one was pretty bad. If I had known, I probably would not have spent 4 mana just to kill a 2/2. It's possible, actually, if we go to a game 3, because they played 2 of the 2 mana 2/2 that you can pay 5 mana to double its power and toughness, that I might want something like this so that I can put like, a 3/2 or a 2/3 in front, and then they go to double it. Most of the time it's going to be their whole turn, and then, I get to still kill their guy and bring my guy back. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. We have the powerful Sage plus Swamp combo. This seems good enough. Burying Books helps blunt any early aggression. And then Sage is obviously incredibly strong. Yeah, that's fine. I probably will bury on turn 3. Just because if I spend 3 turns not interacting with the board at all against this draw, it's bad. For obvious reasons. I'd probably bury this. The issue here is they just have so many good ways to counter it. I mean, like, I don't have any recourse for that. Like, they have 10, they have Veil. This is more power. I'm going to do this because if they have Snakeskin Veil, I don't want them to get, a counter on the thing that doubles its power. Also, this is the bigger creature. So, sure. And they shuffle it away. Not that this was bad. Like, obviously, this is a good play. And, 3 mana, 3/2 is not, like, oh my god, I have to keep it in my hand. And then we get to play a pretty solid Sage. This beats Bury IMO. Especially because, we've seen so many ways for them to counter it in their deck. Sure. Okay, so 2 unknowns. We'll see what they are. I completely don't mind that because I get to potentially Helix something now. Oh. Okay. Well, that's a card. It's a good card. Jesus Christ. I get to put 2 counters and give it double strike? Oh my goodness. Well, shit. I think I just say go. Because, I would like to get this out of their hand, Instead of just, spending my whole turn to bounce it or bury it, and then, eventually they replay it. I'm gonna get a little greedy here. Sure, I'll take a bunch of damage if they have, a way to kill it, basically. And if the last card is 10 the Pests, I don't want it to get 2 extra power or 2 extra tokens, so I'm just going to pay full price for this. Cool. Game certainly wasn't over, but I don't I don't disagree with my opponent choosing to concede there. It's definitely a blowout of sorts. And it can be frustrating when your super big creature that you really want to survive just gets put on top of your library for no value. Especially because it's they're thinking oh, if I had any creature in my graveyard, at least I'd get some value off of this. Blah, 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 blah. But he had double bury. This Luxac had double bury instead of any other removal spell. And it's true, I am Luxac, so, totally fine for my opponent to say that about me. But anyway, that's round 2. I'll be right back to round 3. All right, welcome back to round 3. We are playing this, pretty solid bug control deck. It's really blue-green with a small black splash. And we're here for round 3. We've easily cruised into 2-0-4-0. So let's see if we can nab that trophy. I'm going to keep. Obviously, we're missing one thing in this hand. It rhymes with remand. But we also have a number of 2-drops that we could play as well. So I felt like that was fine. All right. I feel like this rare is bad, and yet I might end up taking it. If I take it, I don't have to read it. But I think I'm going to read it. Exile any number of target creatures in a place where you control, meaning use the metal and only control if it's a creature. So it's just, it blinks your guys and gives them, makes them 1 bigger, but it costs 4 mana to hold up. And how many guys are they going to have? On the other hand, Expel is also kind of bad and easy to play around. I don't know. That's difficult. I think blinking your guys and making them bigger is not that good in the face of Aether Helix. I'm going to take an Expel. Could be wrong, but whatever. It just feels like if they're holding up 4 mana for that sort of effect, it can't be that hard to play the game, right? Quite. You know what? I really, really, really don't care if this gets expelled. It's more that I just don't want my opponent to use their mana efficiently. So that's why I'm here. If they had just gotten to expel that, for free, I wouldn't have this attack. So if they tap out for something, I don't know what they're gonna do. Okay, cool. Neat. I think I'm just gonna Helix this and bring back. It's possible I should have cycled the letter. I'm just gonna play a pop quiz. Chose not to get a land. That's fine. I see the combo. I will bury this now if they're going to attack with it. Of Semester's End plus Dueling Coach. That's actually kind of neat, I'm going to be honest. I'll take this. Surprising that they would do that. Okay, so I think I do have to take the Semester's End now because it just makes their guys too big. But I could just take a guy, right? That seems a little better, actually. Like, it's just power toughness, and I play a good amount of removal in my deck, so I think that, okay, sure. I think I have to take this. 5/5 is just too big. Yeah, I think 4 for 5 is okay here, just because the expel's down, basically. And I will bury this. Well, let's start by attacking. I'm gonna sack this first. I don't think. Yeah, I'm just gonna play the huge creature. Next turn I can field trip to give it vigilance, so that I play around the expel basically. Alternatively, because the issue is this turn they just block in Semester's End, and then the expel is next turn. So maybe I just attack with the 4/4 and scry this turn. I kind of like that better. Wow, they didn't Semester's End. That's crazy. This is an instant, right? Okay. Not sure what was happening there. I guess they want it to be on more creatures. That seems silly to me. Right, well, I'm gonna scry. Put this on the bottom. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it's not worth scrying this turn. I think I just have to hope to hit something a little better. So the thing is, if I make this a 12/12, they just, block, use Semester's End. And then next turn it attacks into the expel. So maybe it is just attacking with the 4/4 this turn. Forcing them to, you know. Yep. So at least next turn I can attack with a 12/12 Vigilance. Jeez, these things are huge. Yeah, okay. I mean, I'll scry, but I'm pretty sure I'm just dead, right? 5, yeah, I'm just super dead. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, yeah. Yeah, alright, their draws are really fucking good. Like, they just top decked a Mythic, you know, board wipe, and then, you know, just do straight removal on big creatures. Alright, let's see how we want to sideboard. We definitely want... What do we want? Do we want this? Probably not. Maybe we want charge through, because if they're blinking their guys, it could be like a big blowout. Maybe we just want more card advantage to power through, because they're definitely very controlling. I could see that. Just like a draw 2. It's possible. This felt a little underpowered. Is Calling Ritual good? They didn't really show me little creatures, so I think I just put in more card advantage and call it a day. Alright, yeah, let's try this. Yeah, seems reasonable. Obviously, this is not great when you're on 2 mana, but it's a solid late game card. It's possible I was supposed to take the Semester's End instead of like either of the removal spells that I took, but at the time they just didn't have any creatures in hand. Like it would have just bounced the one, you know, Dueling Coach. So I think it was just better to like strand them with a card that doesn't really do anything, and they just drew like 2 really good creatures to put it on. So I stand by the decision, it just didn't work out that well. It's probably just better to play the 2/2. And then next turn, if I don't draw a land, it plays probably Remorse. Like again, Zimone just doesn't do anything until you have 4 mana. Sure. Yeah, take the flyer. We'll certainly block and trade if I'm given the option. As far as non-land draws go, that's a very reasonable one. I think I play this. It has the highest upside. Obviously, if it dies, that's annoying. I think they still have 2 planes in hand that I know about. Is it worth it to attack? I think the answer is no. They showed me 2 expels in a day. Like, they showed me 2 expels, and I don't think it's worth it to play this because of Day of Judgment. Like, basically, the 2 points of damage probably isn't relevant, but this living and potentially, like, drawing me mana is relevant. So I'm just not going to attack. It sucks that they get to scry, but I would just rather not play into expel. They have 2 unknowns, and then they didn't play any creatures, so like their unknowns are much more likely to be lands and or removal spells. It's always annoying when it's like your opponent's draw isn't that good, but then your draw is also not that good, because it feels like, oh man, like I could beat this. You know, this isn't that good. So yeah, I've talked about not attacking, so I'm not going to. But you know, a lot of times when we have stuff like that, we are sure. We're keeping our okay. All right. Apprentice. Yes. Thank you. We'll take the swamp. I think that's better than the second island. Is it? Black so splash color. We'll take the island. I'm fine if this duress misses. You know, it did its job. It didn't even miss. We gotta humiliate for our troubles. Sure. So we know about 2 planes. We know about 1 planes. They put a card on top of the library, which is fine. Certainly not blocking, obviously. I could play the Spring Mare. I think it's better to bury and likely hit a land with this Apprentice. Although I suppose this could get expelled now because I've attacked with it. In which case, it's unclear if I should pop quiz or not. Sure. Like pop quiz just to hit a land drop, basically. Okay, so we're doing things now, maybe. The issue is our life total. So I think the play is to do land, letter, and then Zimone. What do we have in our sideboard? We have Annihilation. That's reasonable. We have Anatomy and Visai to gain life. All reasonable options. I'm just figuring out, like, you know, what I would want to get with my Learn card next turn. This is going to be a close one. I'm going to go to 11, and then turn after that, I'm going to go to 7, most likely. I feel like we're really close. We just need to find like an answer to their board. The problem is our answer is like Bury. If they keep drawing this stuff, it's kind of bad for us. But we have life gain, so like the other answer is potentially to race it. They choose this gives vigilance. That's weird. They should know the card. It's the 5 mana 2/2. Ooh, that's a really good card, huh? Like really good. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so yeah, so I think the answer is play this. Play this, gain some life. At the beginning of combat, look to Tangle Trap this. We get to see what they do with this Scry. I think they are being a little bit lazy, but you know, it's just a draft, not for anything. So I honestly don't even fault them. Like sure, you Scry before knowing what I do with my turn. But you saved, you know, time. And who can put a value on time? It's very difficult. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cool. I think this has done its job. What did I do with this guy? You know, puts one card on top of the library. I think after this game, I'm gonna take out the disappointment again, especially on the draw. So I basically think that I'm ready to trade off this, basically. I'm just deciding if I want Anatomy to play around, like Expel, Annihilation to play around something big I can't handle. I think I'm going to take Annihilation. Like, if they have a 5/5, it's better to not lose to it. And then just going to play this. I don't like. I think I could just draw one card, but I think it's just better to like use Pop Quiz or Crushing Disappointment and put a land into play. Like spending 4 mana to draw one card when I'm not losing on card advantage, you know, just seems like an inefficient use of my mana. If we were like more in an even game where I needed potentially more cards to pull through, I would consider that. But as of right now, there's no need. I don't think I can hit anything here, but it doesn't hurt to try. So I'm going to take 5 from this, basically, because each of these trigger on each other. My bonus deck is actually pretty interesting. I kind of like it. Like, it's definitely different from other Silver Quill decks that I've seen, but I get it. I get what it's trying to do. It's trying to just like put counters on things, then Inkcaster will do its job, really. I think Field Trip's better than Whirlwind Denial. If it comes down to that. They put one card on bottom, so it's random at this point. But I have them drawing another card. Maybe I just say I'm going to find board total stuff and just like focus on life total. Like, this might be a little bit foolish, just to basically, you know, gain 2 life. I'm actually just not going to take lands anymore, just because there's some chance I can't win before decking. And with the Cram Session, I think I'm just so unlikely to take 6 more damage with 2 cards in hand that I want to race. So topped, that's gray. I don't know what that means. It doesn't mean much. I'm going to take the Expanded Anatomy here. And again, I'm at 10 life, so I think it's just better to hold up stuff. Looking like they have an Expel in their hand. I'm gonna draw 2 cards. Okay, so it looks like they have the 4-mana instant, or maybe they don't. I don't know. I'm just gonna pass. Sure. I'm not going to take the lands out of my deck. I will get the 4/4. It's going to be close for if I can actually kill my opponent, huh? They currently are at 5 the way it stands. If they played a creature. I'm going to put that on the bottom. I think that the elemental creature... never mind. Okay, so let's start by attacking. That's fine. I guess I am likely to use this. It's fine. What do they do with their scry? They put 1 card on top. That way. That's fine. Okay, so right now I have Bury for this. And I have Whirlwind Denial for like anything else they might try to do. Cool. Phew. That was a close one. All right, all right. So we're seeing a little bit more of their deck. They did show some 2-drops. Their deck's like just kind of hard to play against, huh? I think this is bad. I think on the draw, I want this over the potentially like draw 2. Like I think my deck has enough. I think my deck should just have enough card advantage between Apprentice and Simone. Their removal is Expel, so that's both easy to play around and you know, doesn't hit this until after it's gotten some advantage. Especially on the draw, I think I just want to not die quickly to their like 2-drop curves or 2-drop cards. Maybe I just want like another creature too. That's possible. Like a Vortex Runner. don't know if that helps though. I don't know if that's better than the Serpentine. I'm gonna keep it like this. All right, this is the deck. Final round, final game. Let's do it. That was kind of a crazy game. That was the one where we missed on our third land until turn 7. All right. Ooh, only 7 minutes left. I've been really having some difficult decisions in explaining my plays. I'll certainly start to play faster. Of the 2 drops we draw, obviously this is not a good one. That's okay. That's a good one. I will remorse them just to potentially break up their curve. See what's going on here. Yeah. Well, no, I have the answer to that. Yeah, I'm just gonna take the threat that I can't kill. Like, this is just such a good turn if I... Well, 7, 6, 5, 4, 7 has... I might actually not do that. We'll see. Yeah, I think I actually will just play out this. Because if they flunk this, then Simone is more likely to survive. Yeah. And then I still have this good turn of... Okay, sure. Yeah, I feel like they wouldn't do that. So they have Plains One Unknown. And then, again, Simone doesn't really do anything on this board. I'm just going to do this. Like, you don't really need Simone until you hit... Oh, I can't even... Oh, that's really awkward, huh? Yikes. Alright, I'm just gonna do this. That was definitely an oversight by me. No, this is okay. I like want to try and draw a card with this, basically. That's fine. Because even if you expel, it's a 2-for-1. Yeah, completely fine with that. This is going to get bigger soon, so I probably will just take the hit. We'll see. Yeah, I'm just going to take the hit. Am I? Yeah, well. I'm just gonna leave in bury plus yeah. I'll go to 8. Totally fine with that. I'm actually not going to scry. I should have scried. I'm going to do this just because I plan to bury the campus guide. And then scry. Sure. Can't be that bad. I'm going to scry first, actually, before I decide what to do. So I know the campus guide's coming up next. I think I'm going to hold back. Sucks, but I think I have to. I think I need that just in case. See if they want to double block. Completely fine with that. I'm just going to do the... I said let's make a 2-2. No, I am going to... I'm going to do this and scry. Probably not blocking. Cool. I had a feeling they were sandbagging Day of Judgment. I just wanted to get a good spot to do that. That's fine. So these are both lethal. So I get to attack with this. Whew. Sick game. Sick game, sick game. All right. Well, that was a close one. Let's see if I can't show the deck. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. I think, my channel is going to be mostly devoted to Legacy, but, every so often, if I'm enjoying something different and want to share with you guys, I certainly will. Turns out picking up some mythic uncommons and a mythic rare is pretty good for winning games limited. So with that, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys later. Bye.